Hello, welcome to Do It Yourself with Wayne. Today we got a little bit of a project here with a Hummingbird feeder. This is something my sweetie purchased some time back. She really likes these and the Hummingbirds like them. This is supposed to be in there like that. And this goes over here. And the Hummingbirds for some reason really like this feeder more so than the other feeders that we've got. And we've got several. And the way this thing works, it comes apart very easily for cleaning. And your Hummingbird, your sugar water goes out here, but in here you put just water. And that creates a little water moat that keeps the ants, because a lot of people have trouble with ants getting in their Hummingbird feeders. Ants come down this pole to get to the water, they can't cross the water, so the ants don't get in your Hummingbird feeder. But anyway, we had this on the back deck, and whatever happened, we don't know. Probably squirrels, who knows. But it fell off, and it got broke. And she said she's going to throw it away and buy another one. And I said, I saw this thing, and got a couple pieces here, got this. I said, I can fix that. I should have said, I might be able to fix that. But I didn't say might. I said, I can fix that. So I got to fix this. So this is what we're going to work on today. And if any of you are curious about who my sweetie is, her name is Ann. And if you want to see Ann, she generally doesn't show up in the DIY with Wayne videos, but we have another YouTube channel called Bucket List Time with Ann and Wayne. And we do camping kind of videos, we do destination videos, and things related to traveling and going to places. So if you're interested in seeing Ann, or if you're interested in travel destinations and campers and stuff, check out Bucket List Time with Ann and Wayne. But anyway, back to what we're working on today. I gotta put this thing together, I gotta fix it. I gotta make the bottom in here where the water goes waterproof, so the water won't leak out. And these pieces don't fit back together exactly well, so this is gonna be a challenging little project, but we're gonna get this thing fixed. So let's get on with it. Now, part of my challenge with fixing this is this thing doesn't fit in here just exactly like it came out. I can get part of it in there, but not the whole thing. So I'm going to do the best I can. Okay, I struggled for about 15 minutes or so trying to get these parts in here, and I deleted that video because you don't want to have to watch 15 minutes of me not getting stuff accomplished. So what I did, I went back and decided to glue these parts together first. I got the first part glued in here. I'm getting ready to glue this part in here. I'm going to use super glue for that just to make it easier and quicker. And after that sets a little bit, I'll fit it back into this piece and glue it together. So now what I've got that I used on the first piece here was this Loctite glass glue, and it wasn't really what I wanted to use, but I had some little tubes of super glue and they were all dried up. So this glass glue seems to work. I mean, all I need it to do is hold this stuff in place until it gets the epoxy put on it. I'm getting this stuff all over me, so I'm going to stop right there. That's in place good. I'm going to leave it right there. If I quit messing with it, it'll probably be alright. So I'm going to let that dry. Then we'll see if we can fit it into place. At this point, I got my 3 big pieces glued together, and now I got to figure out how to get them to set down in here properly. And when plastic breaks, it doesn't break real even. And so what I'm going to do, this right back in here, well, I can get that in there like it's supposed to go, but then these edges around here won't go down in. So I got my Dremel tool, and I'm going to shave this down just a little bit wherever it's hitting to try and get it to go down in there. And we'll start out right around here. So let's do that. Okay, that's a little bit better. We just need a little bit right there. And you could do this with a file, you could do it with a knife. If you do use a Dremel tool or some kind of a grinder, just be careful that you don't grind it too fast, or what will happen is you'll start to melt the plastic, and you don't want to go that fast. Alright, right there. I think I'll take some of that off. Alright, and that's what I'm going to do to keep working on around to get all this so it'll sit down in there nice and flush. Now at this point I spent a lot of time getting these pieces fitted in just right. I used a little bit of super glue to glue the 3 pieces that I had together and then fitting them in there. But now they fit in kind of snug. I mean, there's no glue holding this centerpiece in right now, but it won't fall out because it's fitting kind of tight. If you do something like this and you have to shave the plastic down some, go just a little bit at a time. Take your time, cut just a little bit, refit it, do it just a little bit more. Now what I'm going to do, I mixed up some epoxy, and I'm going to put epoxy on these cracks, just to cover them up a little bit. And then I'm going to let this dry, and then I'll come back and put more on there on the other side. Because this thing's got to be able to hold water in order to function properly. Alright, there we go. Got a little extra over here, kind of spilled a little bit, but that'll be alright. Just wipe that off. And that's all I'm going to do for right now. This will glue this side. Once that sets up, I'll turn it over and I'll glue the other side, and that should about do it. But when we're through, we'll show you the finished product, and we'll show you the Hummingbirds just loving it. So stick around, and we'll get finished with this here in just a little while. At this point, I got all my pieces in there. I glued them on the back side, the bottom, but there's still some little holes in there where water can come through, and this has got to be watertight for the little moat here. So I put black tape over this. You could use any kind of tape. The tape will come off later. I just wanted to tape on there so when I pour epoxy in the top side, it won't leak through. I've mixed up some epoxy in this kitchen Dixie cup, and basically I'm just going to pour it into the bottom. I don't know how well you'll be able to see this, but just know that I'm just pouring this epoxy into the bottom of that little moat that's part of the thing, and I'm just basically going to let it self-level. Okay, right there. I'm going to pull a little epoxy up around the sides of that piece that's in the middle, just because there were some cracks in there, and I want to make sure that they're all sealed up. Come up around the sides a little bit, and that's it. Now that epoxy will self-level in the bottom. It'll seal up all any little holes that might still be down there. So when this cures, the little moat here for the water to keep the ants out will once again be watertight. Now here we are on our back deck. We got our repair is finished. We took all the parts and we had to shave some of them down so they would fit back in there properly. We glued a little bit on the bottom to hold them in place. As you remember, I put black tape over the bottom. That was temporary. We've removed that now. And then we poured epoxy in the moat part to seal up all those little cracks and crevices that was left from putting all the broken pieces back in. That has set up. It's set up very well. We've taken the black tape off. And the way this thing works, and we'll show you actually using it here in a little bit, but we put water here for the moat. We put the sugar water out here for the hummingbirds. And then this is the top, and it just sits right there. That's all there is to this hummingbird feeder. And I don't know why, but our hummingbirds like this feeder better than the other hummingbird feeders that we have. And my sweetie likes it better because it's easier to clean and fill, because you know, this just comes off like that. You clean it, you refill it, you set it back on, you hang it up, and you're done. And also, we purchased this on Amazon. If you want one like this, we'll put a link in the description to that feeder if you're interested, but that'll be in the description. And so now let's fill it up and see if we can attract some hummingbirds. Now here we are. We got our moat finished up, ready to be hung back up. Got some water here. We just pour it in the center, like so. As you can see, it's not leaking out. Now the outside, we've put our sugar water, and this is just plain old sugar water. Just pour it in the outside. Something like that. And the lid goes over the top. And at that point, it's ready to be hung up. At this point, we're all finished up. We got our hummingbird feeder filled up, and now we're ready to hang it. And I want to show you our pivoting rack system that we built that moves our bird feeders out over the yard instead of over the deck, so we don't get as much bird seed and stuff on our deck. But anyway, we just pull this, things pivot like that. And then our hummingbird feeder, yeah, I tilted it a little too much. We usually put it right there, and then we pivot it right back out. And now all our hummingbird feeder, our bird feeder, our suet feeder, everything is out over the yard, so any mess from those feeders ends up in the yard instead of on our deck. So anyway, that's our repair for our bird feeders. So now let's watch some hummingbirds using the feeder.